Hi, Dr. Karen Can here with another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. Boy, a lot of stuff to share with you this week. The first thing is we are in the middle of what we call the expansion phase of the Ascension cycle. So this is where our abilities to receive and perceive expand. So when this happens, a lot of us sensitives can end up with what might be called excessive empathy. So our empathetic skill sets actually improve, but sometimes it's not as balanced as we would like it to be, especially those of us that are earth angels and star seeds tend to get very, very sensitive. So that could mean that all of a sudden you find yourself proxying, your body proxying for somebody else. So for example, there was at least 3 or 4 of us this week that were Mother Earth. You know, when we would do our divine muscle testing, we would check our yeses and nos, and if your nervous system is running the correct way, a yes should be a yes, a no should be a no. But then we ask, you know, my name is Karen Can in my case, and I would get a no, and then I would have to guesstimate who I was at the moment, and then I was Mother Earth. So Mother Earth, some of us are very close to Mother Earth, and sometimes when we enter this ascension phase, we can get very sensitive. So I had excess empathy, so to speak, with whatever Mother Earth was detoxing. And amazingly, you can have some pretty severe symptoms when your physical body is proxying for another, kind of like you're going through what they're going through your body. So we did create a new morphic field with the intention of, if it is for the highest and greatest good for us to proxy for others, which most of the times we don't need to do, but if it's for the highest and greatest good, that we only proxy energetically, not physically. So those are now included in my Ascension MP3s, the deep healings, and the awaken or augment your superpowers. So in case you're like having, you know, one of those, you can go ahead and say, hey, you know, that proxy morphic field that Dr. Karen talked about, I want that one, you know, and have those downloaded to you. So that if you do need to proxy for someone, at least you're doing it energetically, and we've set it up so that you have the minimum, if not, you know, 0 symptoms would be ideal. If you, for whatever reason, have to proxy and process someone else's stuff. So we don't want you to do this automatically, because it can be very frustrating, and you can feel like you have the flu or old things flaring up. You know, I know for me, when I was proxying for Mother Earth, my knees started swelling. I was like, whoa, okay, what's going on? So things like that can happen. So other than the proxy thing, the other new morphic fields that we created or co-created was one is how happy is your relationship between your nervous system and source. Because a lot of times, you know, when our energies get reversed, that's when in muscle testing, a yes, you test a no, and a no, you test a yes, you're backwards. So that's like extreme stress, usually that's what it means to your nervous system. So you can do divine muscle testing when you're not reverse, obviously. How happy is your relationship between your nervous system and source? And you can check each part of the nervous system. So for example, I would say, how happy is my relationship? How happy is my nervous system's relationship with source? You would get a number out of 100%. Then you can ask specifically, how happy is my central nervous system relationship with source, somatic nervous system, peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and under autonomic, those of you in the Light Warrior Revolution probably already heard this already because of the first class we did, and that's posted in your student portal, you know, about the different types of the autonomic nervous system. You can ask how happy is my sympathetic nervous system, relationship with source, my parasympathetic, and my enteric. So the enteric is the gut nervous system. By the way, the Gaia TV folks have a great film on the gut-brain connection and talking about the enteric nervous system, and you actually see like little dissections of the nerves. It's actually pretty cool, so check that out if you have a subscription to Gaia TV. I'm also going to find at some point this week the actual share link, because I'm allowed to share several of the videos free, and I don't know whether we can share movies, but if I can, I will post that in the Light Warrior Network and in the support group, so you can check out that really, really interesting movie about the gut. So the microbiome, which is like the 100 trillion, you know, different bacteria and other cells that you house inside your own body in the gut, this past week there have been high dimensional interference with these folks, you know, these little guys. So they were being attacked or whatever it is that's messing them up is now revealed to be healed. So that's happened a couple of times. So you can just check how happy is your microbiome. If your microbiome is less than 100% happy, ask how many species of my microbiome are less than 100% happy most of the time. Oftentimes it'll just be 1 or 2 species, and then you can go ahead and ask your God team to heal it, or you play Ascension 1 and 2 and have have that directed to your microbiome to have it healed, or you can just command, you can find out, is there any high dimensional interference with my microbiome? If so, then you can go ahead and command it gone, so to be erased and uncreated, and then recheck to make sure that it is indeed gone. But again, these frequencies are now added into multiple of my MP3s. And so just definitely check your microbiome, see how happy they are. The other thing that has been interesting is on the Topocan healing sheets in number 2, actually. So the second one here, which is like the positive frequencies we need, there actually is an addition. And when we update these sheets, you'll get this in your student portal if you've already bought the program that has these, training guides in there. There's number 2, and then there's number 1 and 3. Anyway, so it usually shows up in the energetic row, which is the most active row lately. And it's going to be called electromagnetic fields, because there are some positive blueprints of electromagnetic fields of certain parts of us, and it could be any part of the physical body that creates the electromagnetic field. Each cell has its own electromagnetic field. What's been common this week is that the nervous system, the healthy, optimally radiantly healthy nervous system, has its own electromagnetic field of that perfection. And that's the positive morphic field you can download to yourself. And you can, of course, ask, is there any other electromagnetic frequency morphic fields that are positive that I can download to myself now? And you can go ahead and download all those. You probably don't even know what they have to be in order to download them. Just ask your God team to go ahead and download them to you and activate those. So that's been popular. So that will be added eventually to the guides. Last, as far as the news, is that there's a new morphic field I created yesterday, I think. It's related to, I call it like a containment, like an empathy containment field. Sometimes we have excessive empathy when we go through the ascension cycle called the expansion cycle. And you can ask, how balanced is my empathy? So ask at 100%, how balanced is my empathy? So if you get it's very not balanced, then you can ask, is it not enough or too much? Usually it's too much, like 99% of the time it's too much. So then you can command it to be balanced. But there's also a positive morphic field you can download to yourself of a balanced empathy, or an empathy containment field. You can call it empathy containment. So you can go ahead and download and activate that in yourself and see if that changes how you feel and whether you're less sensitive to what's going on around you. And hopefully with future ascension cycles, when we go through the expansion phase, it won't be quite as stressful to you. I know we keep growing and learning, and us sensitives, have quite the time sometimes figuring this stuff out. And speaking of ascension cycles, we put up a poll in the Light Warrior support group, in our private Facebook group for those folks that have bought packages of mine, what you wanted to hear about next Tuesday. So Tuesday on the 30th, Christy Warnick and I, Christy Warnick is an energy healer, and she has her own Facebook page, and we are going to be doing a live Facebook 30-minute interview about the ascension cycle, the 4 phases of the ascension cycle. So check that out. We'll be posting that information on the Light Warrior Network and Light Warrior support group, Facebook pages. So you can check that out and be on live if you'd like, and you can ask questions during that half-hour show. So that is Tuesday coming up. And actually, let me just find that exact time for you guys. It is 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday is that interview with Christy. So we're going to talk about the ascension phases because many of you have asked more information about that. So what I'm going to be covering is what are the 4 phases and what are the common symptoms, if any, that we might feel during each of those phases. And that sometimes gives you a hint of what phase we're at. And we are probably a couple days out from the next phase, which is the rising phase. So hold on to your grounding, folks. Okay, now next week as well on Monday, so the day before Christy's show, we do have a live show, and it is with Robert, who is the CEO and owner and co-creator of the Petbiotics line. Now, my Airbiotics line is a spray of probiotics. I love it. I can just show you right now. You may have seen my video on YouTube. This is my Airbiotics Nano, and it sprays nano-sized particles of probiotics in the air. And I had a wonderful testimonial about how a stinky utility room, because a mouse died in there, was basically cured by spraying this once in that room and closing the door. And after a couple hours, went back in there. You couldn't even tell that a mouse died in there. It smelled like a beautiful spring day. It smelled better than normal, actually. So I love their stuff. I spray the Airbiotics on everything: my toothbrush, my hairbrush, my countertops, my pillows, my stuffed animals, my dog. Well, actually, you know, now they have a Petbiotics line. So it's Airbiotics for pets. So we're going to talk to Robert about what the Petbiotics line does and why it's good for your pet. So join me live on the show, 12 noon, Monday the 29th, so 12 noon Eastern, and you can ask him some questions about the Petbiotics line. So I'm really excited to talk to him again, because I just absolutely love their products. So if you're interested in learning more about the products, you can go to www.karencan.com/Airbiotics and take you to a page where you can listen to our first radio show about the Airbiotics, as well as an affiliate link of mine in case you're interested in trying any of their products. Okay, so that is my news for this week. So lots of love to you. Remember that we are on, trying to grow our Light Warrior Network Facebook group. That's the one that's open to the public. So if you know anyone who is a Light Warrior, who is a beautiful earth angel or a starseed, go ahead and invite them to be part of the Light Warrior Network. You can add them in and we'll approve them. And wow, yeah, there's just so many interesting things going on. But I just want to thank you for being part of my tribe. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'll have you subscribe below. Okay? All right. Last but not least, Series 16 from Heartache to Joy is coming up. You can register right on the link below. If you're in the YouTube channel, it's karencan.com/FHTJ. So from Heartache to Joy, Series 16, absolutely free to join there. So I'd love it if you join through my link so they know I referred you. Thank you. Thank you. Until next time, bye for now. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week.